Hi, and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast for another Authors Tuesday. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by another great guest author, Kristina Jerome, all the way from the States. You're very welcome along today, Kristina. Thanks a lot for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
No, great, thank you. So, we might just start off the podcast, if you wouldn't mind just telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and the great books that you've written, please.
I'd love to. Thank you. So I'm a kindergarten teacher, and my I had a daughter who was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of leukemia, and she struggled through that. And as she was going through that, she was 14 when she was diagnosed, and we really couldn't find any books that were, age appropriate for her or even younger. Because I think the more you break it down, the easier it is for us to digest, so we can help her digest it.
Mm.
There was really nothing that we could find on that. I mean, they're, the very straightforward, this is what happens, this is what you do. But I was looking for something more in a, I don't know, like a kindergarten form, a child form, something that she could relate to, that we could relate
Mm.
I mean, there's so much medical jargon when you first are introduced to this whole thing. You kind of need it dumbed down so you can wrap your head around it. So, when we were all locked down during COVID, I thought, you know what, this might be my opportunity to sit and try to come up with something that could, you know, help someone else coming into this. Because
Mm.
sadly, and more kids are going to get diagnosed. So it's just basically the introductory story is about a non-binary character who is um, diagnosed, and while they're under anesthesia, they have a dream that they're a superhero and they fly around the hospital and they help other kids with issues that happen while you're going through all the treatments. And the character has an IV pole and the line, so they are, something that the readers can relate to, and something that the parents can hopefully, understand, and it would make it easier to talk to their children about what's happening.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, and it's probably has helped you as well, deal with the situation
I
by
think it was a
writing it.
little
Like,
therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah, no, that sounds really good. And what's the name of the book, Christina?
It's Starley Charley. So the
Starley
character is
Charley.
Starley. The patient that gets diagnosed is Charlie, because that could be, either gender name, or,
Yeah.
and then
Mm.
when they go through what their dream, their character is Starley Charlie. They have star eyes, so they're, again,
Mm.
either gender can identify. Not, I can't have that, or I'm not going to read that because it's a girl book, or it's a boy. This is something that
Yeah,
can relate to hopefully everyone.
that's great. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, yeah, no, well done to you for getting them books out there, and I really hope they do really well for you. And
Thank you.
excuse me, excuse me, sorry. As well as that, have you always been a writer yourself, Christina? Have you always written?
No, I mean, as a kindergarten teacher, I read a lot, and I do a
Yeah,
lot of, introductory writing with the kids, just basic, trying to rhyme. And we try to, make the classroom a Dr. Seuss room most of the time, try to get everybody to rhyme and
yeah,
stuff like that. But this was my first venture into writing. Yeah, it's hard to develop a character. It's
yeah,
definitely, it's a lot easier to be a reader than it is to be a writer, for sure.
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah. And yeah, no, that's right. 'Cause so, like, how long did it take you to write how many three books you have out there? Is that correct?
Yes, one talks about just the initial diagnose. One talks about hair loss. When you go through treatment, you lose your hair. It's very traumatic. One talks about just getting used to being in the hospital with the bed, and the IV pole, how it beeps on and off all through the day and the night, and getting comfortable with that. And the other one is feeling left out. Your friends are going on living their life and you're not. You're in the hospital, you're not feeling well. How to cope with those issues as a child.
Yeah, because that can be really great for any child that's reading it, or any parent that's reading it to a child. Like, I love the aspect of it. You're bringing in, they're like a superhero with the
Right.
power they have. So that's really great. That sounds really great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something that hopefully they can all relate to. Maybe, if they see themselves as a hero, that might help, get them through.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. Because, as you know, like, positivity is so important when you're ill. Like, so, that's a brilliant and beautiful message for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, these kids they don't have it easy, you know?
No, no,
Any adult going through something like that is hard, but imagine being a child, you know, it's hard
yeah,
to wrap your head around it for
yeah,
sure.
it really is. Yeah, yeah. I'd love if you could share the links for your book as well, so I can put them in the show notes for people to buy. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, are they available on Amazon and
We're working on that. As soon as I get them up and running,
yeah,
I'll put them out there. Yeah, we're talking to a publisher now. Hopefully we can push the deal forward and get going. I mean, I'd really love to get these out there to families, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah? Because have you been trying for long with the publishers? Has that been like a long story?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's tough. Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's a
I'm
lot.
happy.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, just like as an author myself, like I self-published my book. Like, so have you thought about going down that route yourself?
I had toyed with that idea. I did actually get an offer from a publisher uh, that was a hybrid publisher that wanted to, you know, do a little bit and I would do a little bit and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, that might be the way I'd go. I'd rather just do the traditional route for now,
Yeah,
you know, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, then I would definitely self-publish just to get it out there. But I just feel like it's so important to have these books available. I don't know if I would by self-publishing, I would have the range that I would need to get it where it needs to go.
I
I
get
mean,
you.
I mean, it just started with me not being able to find what I was looking for. I mean,
Hmm.
we live in Boston, which is, you know, we have one of the best treatment facilities, you know, in the world, and there was not a book in the area about it. I mean, that was just striking to me. I mean,
Really
and
is.
it's a niche, you know, you have to be looking for it to find it. It's not going to be on the bestseller list for sure, but
Yeah,
you know, there are certainly kids who need it.
definitely, definitely. Like because it's such a great help, like to put like a fun aspect into it as well for because especially we're dealing with kids that are sick, so that's great. Like it really is.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we can get it out there to people. I mean, it's such an important message and these kids, I mean, they just need it. They need to have it. Parents need to be able to have the medical jargon,
Mm,
you
definitely,
know,
definitely.
broken down so they can communicate with their kids because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can only imagine. And
Yeah.
so can I just ask you as well? When you're writing your books, do you kind of have a structure as well that you go by? Do you have a certain amount of words a day when you were writing your three books, or what way did you do it?
I just had an idea and I would just lock myself in a room until it all came out. And
Mm,
then I would go through later and make adjustments and do it. But it just once the idea hit me, I would just go sit down
yeah.
and just write it out longhand with a pen and paper.
Mm, the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and like, did you? So like, a lot of people when they're writing having the podcast, they'd write and then probably transcript on a laptop. Did you do that yourself, or it was just all written?
All written and then yeah, then after I wrote it all out, then I put it onto a document,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
takes twice as long trying to read my writing after I do that because you know your brain's going faster than your hand is.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, no, like no, well done to you again. I really appreciate you coming on. It's a great talking to you. And and can I just ask you as well? If when you were writing your books, did you ever kind of hit a more metaphorical wall like with your writing, and how would you have handled that? Like if ever you got writer's block.
Um, yeah, I mean that happened. Well, it was an emotional wall because I was kind of reliving it
Mm,
when I was writing it,
of
right? So
course.
sometimes
Yeah.
you know, I just had to take a break and I kind of put myself in the character's mind. Like if I were that superhero flying around the hospital, I was kind of talking to myself the way the character was talking to the kids in the book and trying to talk myself off the ledge, like the character does. It seemed to
Mm,
work out okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Very good. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Um, yes. Kind of. What's your favorite books to read yourself? Do you have any favorite books to read?
I like thrillers. I
Okay.
like a good like The Woman in the Window I found, you know, very fascinating. It was, you know, kept me on the edge of my seat. A good thriller.
Mm,
Not scary, but something to keep me alert.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, and do you have a favorite like a movie yourself? Do you like to watch, or what kind of films?
Same thing. I like a good thriller. I like
The
to
thriller, yeah.
just be I was watching that show on Netflix, The Watcher. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, The
It's
Watcher. Yeah, I think of yeah,
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 yeah, something like that. You know, you're just not really sure what's going to happen next. I like to be surprised, not
mm,
scared, but surprised.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you find how did you find your experience now as a writer? Like, have you as you were doing it, have you gained confidence? Do you think yourself as going forward for doing more books?
I think so. I think, you know, I think my character development is probably getting a little bit better the more I do so.
Yeah,
It takes a while to do that. That's definitely a challenge. Like having the reader know who the character is and having the character be relatable. That's something that I probably struggled the most with originally.
mm, I hear you. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah, because like myself, I've been involved in a lot of writers groups through COVID, where you work off prompts, which is really good. Like if you work off a prompt for like a half an hour and everybody comes up with some great stories. Have you ever looked at doing stuff like that?
Yeah, that's fun to do. I did that a lot. My daughter and I would do that back and forth with each other. And it's amazing how people have completely different perspectives
Yeah.
from the same prompt. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, because it's incredible the different, like as you say, the different kind of stories that come out of one prompt, one picture, or one line. It's
Yes, yes.
really great.
Everybody just looks at everything differently, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose like as things got better in Boston after the COVID, is things back to normal now with after with COVID being gone?
Pretty much, except for now we're having lots of flu and RSV. So the hospitals are full again, but not with
Oh no.
COVID, but with flu
Yeah.
and RSV. Yes. How about with you guys?
Yeah, well, it seems to be coming up again. A lot of more cases in Ireland are coming about, but touch wood, it seems to be a lot less strain this time. So
Good.
yeah, so it's good. So there's a lot of connection between Boston and Ireland.
Yes, I think Boston is the next Ireland, isn't it? It's close
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
Lots of Irish flags in my neighborhood.
mm. Have you ever traveled to Ireland yourself? Have you ever
I
been?
haven't. No, I think I'm probably the only one in my neighborhood who hasn't been there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Co-
I should. My son's a redhead, so I should go, right?
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah.
clearly there's some my ancestry is Irish, so we should get there hopefully at some point. We would like to.
Yeah. And have you traveled since COVID? Do you like traveling? Where's your
Um,
favorite place to travel?
my daughter is studying abroad in Australia, so we went to Australia this summer,
Oh, cool. Very nice.
which was someplace I didn't think I would ever go. It's definitely beautiful there.
Mm,
Very nice.
yeah. Long flight.
Very long. Very long. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
from Boston, you have to go from Boston to California and then from California to Australia. So
Mm,
yeah, it was long.
yeah, yeah. Can I just ask you as well, like, what do you find getting motivation? Where do you get your motivation to keep you writing? Like, do you find being out in nature kind of can bring you ideas or for your writing? I know the type of book you're writing is very sensitive, but what I mean is that, like, to different people get ideas from being in certain places.
Probably the beach.
Beach.
Walking on the beach, being next to the water. Yeah, it's very soothing, very
Mm.
therapeutic, very calming. And that's, that's a place where I can kind of let my mind go free,
Yeah, very
come up with
cool.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, because it must have my heart goes out to you. It must be in such a hard time for you, and it's good to kind of I hope I'm saying this right, but it's good to kind of be able to do something you enjoy, like to kind of keep your mind occupied and know you're helping other people as well. So like well done to you. Like can't congratulate you enough. I know you're doing it for obviously you're doing it for helping people, but I just think it's a lovely idea.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Mm.
It's it's definitely hopefully we can get it out to people and, get people to be able to have this opportunity to really take the weight off the parents, just really give them a means of communication and, something that the kids can relate to. I think that's just so important because it's so isolating. You feel like you're the only one, and,
Yeah,
when you read a good book, you never feel like you're alone, so if we give this to the kids, it makes a big difference.
good point. Yeah, no, great point. And I can
Yeah.
just ask you as well, Kristina, when you were writing for parents, so to speak, like for parents, what kind of messages did you give out in your book for how you were feeling, if I can ask you that?
I don't know if I really did. I think it was more like, just taking the step by step of what was going to happen and bringing it down to a kindergarten level. And after the parents read that, I feel like they could take a deep breath and go, okay, I can do this. It's broken down so um small and piecemeal that it would be easier after they read the book. They know what's going to happen next. They know the next steps, a good way to talk to your child when this happens, or if they're dealing with this issue,
Mm,
oh, remember when we read this in the book, and this is how Starley Charley was saying it. And I
yeah,
just hopefully that would be helpful to them and take the burden off trying to come up with the right words.
yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, like you really can kind of really resonate with other people that's going through something similar to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you have a hard copy of the book at the moment, or is it do you have a copy of it there?
No, I don't. I do not.
Okay. No.
I
Oh,
could
no problem.
certainly send it to you.
Yeah, no, just the reason why, because this is going to go on YouTube as well. So for people that are watching to kind of have a. At the book.
All right. Yeah, I wish I did. I do
Oh yeah,
not.
yeah. Oh, no problem, no problem. Sure, sure. Once it's published, you can send me a link and I can put it on the notes for people to um to get their hands on it.
That would be great. Thank you. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, Christina, it's been great talking to you on the podcast. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and your great books, like to help people, and children.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and all the best and all the success going forward with them books.
Oh, great. Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. So,
Thanks.
thanks a million ever for tuning in today's podcast, Mark's motivational podcast with Kristina Jerome. So tune in next time for the next podcast. Thank you. Thanks, Kristina.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Mark here. Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world.
Bye.